Today's stories include The Witcher 4 has entered full production, Cyberpunk 2077's next animated show is official, and Nintendo eShop is closing in China. Well, all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Tuesday, November 26th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the master of hype, Snowbike Mike.
Bless, good morning. What up, big dog?
Morning, Mike.
It's Tuesday.
It is.
Technically, it's a Friday because we're going on holiday break for Thanksgiving here.
Yep.
Are you excited?
For the break? I think I am,
Yes.
yeah. It's the thing where, like, my break is going to be a busy break because
Okay.
I have somehow committed to 3 different Thanksgivings.
Yeah, you and Barrett are always busy. You guys are always busy on
Are
these
we?
breaks.
I don't.
Is Barry, are you busy? Are you busy, man? Are you out there being busy?
This year, yes. I
He's
feel like
busy
in
man.
past years for Thanksgiving, no. I usually try to just hibernate. You know.
I feel that.
I love when the young bucks are busy, though. What kind of fun stuff you getting into? Friendsgivings?
Yeah. so
Family Thanksgiving?
There's the day of Thanksgiving, right? Greg Miller's having people over, so I'm going to Greg's Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving at the Millers. That's dope.
The day after, some of my friends are doing Friendsgiving, and then the day after that, one of my friends who wanted to make it to the previous Friendsgiving couldn't make it because of scheduling. So they were like, I'm going to throw my own Friendsgiving on Saturday. And so
3 Thanksgivings?
And I looked at them, I was like, you understand that you're making me go to multiple Friendsgivings back to back.
I know this friend that you're talking about, and I know this would never be something that they say, but like when you say like I'm gonna have my own Friendsgiving, it makes me think of the Bender line of
Yeah,
like, I'm
with
gonna have my own
blackjack.
Friendsgiving with beer and hookers.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it felt like. She was like, I'm going to have my own Friendsgiving. And I was like, yo, that's 3 Thanksgiving dinners that you're committing me to. And granted, I could not go to the one on Saturday, but I want to hang out with them, right? And like, it's another opportunity to go out or whatever. But now I'm committed to doing 3 different things.
So you got to eat big.
Yeah.
You got to bring something, right? Are you bringing wine to all of these? What are you bringing
Well,
to
here's
these?
the thing, right?
Yeah.
Usually I cheat because I have a family friend / auntie in the area who runs a Nigerian restaurant.
Oh, snap.
And so in recent years, I have gone to her and I'm like, hey, can you cook up some jollof rice so I can bring it to the Thanksgiving dinner?
I love that.
This year, she ended up moving a bit further out, so she's like almost 2 like an almost 2-hour drive.
Okay.
So I would have to drive 2 hours to get this food, or I could have had her mail it. But like it's gone to the point where it's too late. Right, like there's not enough time for
That's
her to
fine,
like
that's
make it
fine.
and mail it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, all right, well, I know what I'm bringing rolls to Greg's Thanksgiving.
bringing rolls.
Because I asked yesterday, I was like, hey, should I bring something? I can bring like whatever. And he was like, no, I think we're good. And I was like, I'm bringing rolls. And he was like, oh yeah, bring rolls. And so bringing rolls to Greg's.
Yeah.
The jollof rice was gonna be to the Friday Friendsgiving. Now I got to figure out like what alternate am I gonna do? Like what am I?
Why don't you teach yourself to do the jollof rice?
It's just a lot of work.
Oh, yeah, teach yourself.
That's actually what I wanted to do this year. Is I did want to learn how to make jollof rice. It's just a matter of like time and work, and I'm busy playing Magic.
2025.
2025.
That's your
yeah.
goal.
I'm just busy. I'm playing Magic. I'm playing Rise of the Golden Idol. I'm just a busy man.
I love that.
The Golden
We
Idol. Bless, we need to find a way to talk about the Golden Idol games at some point.
Good ass video games.
Are you playing any games over the break?
I mean,
'Cause,
Rise
you know,
of the Golden Idol.
We always love Thanksgiving for having that extended break, the holidays, to play some more games. What are you playing?
Rise of the Golden Idol. Probably more Magic. That's one of the things I'm doing at Greg's Thanksgiving. Are you
Got my
playing
deck
Magic right now?
here.
He's on Arena right now.
I got my deck ready for Bless right now. I'm working on that red deck.
Hell yeah.
Ultra aggression, you know what I
Well,
mean?
Greg has his like Foundations Magic set, right?
Yes.
Now I'm bringing my own, so we're gonna make our own decks and then play against each other, which should be fun.
Love that.
But yeah, those are the 2 games. Then I'm trying to watch shows.
Okay.
Everybody has been telling me to watch Arcane, and like here's
Where
the
you
thing.
at?
I know. Well, I restarted because last time when Arcane season 1 first dropped, I made it about 6 episodes in.
Love that.
And like, I think there were 9 episodes overall, so I watched
Correct.
most of it, and it just didn't click with me. And I'm trying to watch it again to give it like. Because I know it's good.
Yeah.
It's not like a thing where I'm like, oh, this is boring. Oh, it's not doing it. I know it's good. And I'm watching it. And I'm like, the animation's quality, the story's here.
Yeah.
It's just not clicking with me in the way that like everybody. Here's the thing, Mike. And I know
Lay it on
what y'all are gonna say. Like, you don't have to like, let the internet pressure you or whatever.
Yeah.
But I feel the weight on my shoulders because everybody and their mother keeps tweeting at me and blue skying me and telling me you need to watch Arcane. You need to watch Arcane. And I'm over here like. What if it doesn't click though?
Yeah.
What do I do then?
Don't listen to them, Bless.
Yeah.
I know, like, don't let the internet get to you and pressure
They're getting to
you.
me, Barrett.
Bless, just go back. I know you want to do it. Just start watching Yu-Gi-Oh again.
Oh,
I know that's what you
dude,
truly- because here's the thing. Like,
I'd
I'm
love to
gonna
watch
enable
Yu-Gi-Oh
you
again.
because I'm back on my Digimon bullshit. So
Oh.
I just started Digimon Adventure Try.
Okay.
I want to watch the Digimon movies. So I'm just saying, like, just watch what you
I
want.
took a hard left because I was going to tell you just play League of Legends with me instead.
No.
Like, let's just commit to what you're really supposed to be.
Did you see
playing.
my post on Blue Sky?
I mean, I'm available anytime you need me.
On Blue Sky, I was like, yo, I've been watching a lot of anime. I've been playing a lot of Magic now. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like it's time. I should get into League of Legends.
Anytime you
And
need me.
Everybody, it was a breath of fresh air for everybody to be like, no,
No, they're wrong.
don't play League of
They're
Legends. Legitimately, every reply was like, stay away.
Fantastic game.
And that was that's the energy I want. Hey, I want to play this very popular thing. No, don't do it. Good for y'all.
Amazing.
What about you? What you got going on?
Plus, what do I got going on? I'm streaming a bunch. I'm having fun. I'm gonna play finishing up Astrobot. What a delight that is. I'm having
I saw
so
you were
much
playing
fun
that the
with
other day.
Yeah, playing that. A little too much noise coming out of the controller. I'll continue to harp on that. You know, what a weird idea that is.
What do you mean a weird idea? They've been
Just
doing that since the Nintendo Wii.
Yeah, but blessing, this is so much noise. This is constant
Are you
noise.
play with headphones on or play with? I guess
I have headphones on. I'm just saying that, like, and I'm blown away.
I guess
This is
you're
like a
streaming.
knock. It's like, I love the tech. I think this is cool and fun idea. I'm just saying that, like, 95% of the time you're playing that game, there is some sort of loud noise coming from this controller.
I'm very positive you can turn that off.
I mean, I will. I'm just saying, it's like, hey, make it 50%. So when it does pop up, I go, oh wow, that's cool. Not 90% of the time where I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
I literally have no idea where you're talking about because like
That's crazy,
Well,
Wes.
it's because I played with the dual what do they call them, the Pulse headphones.
Oh.
And so when you play with like a Bluetooth headphones, they don't make sound coming out of the controller.
Cool.
It's like in the same way where I think somewhere in the review conversation Tim brought up blowing into the controller, and I was like, "They don't make you blow into the controller."
Oh, I've been blowing.
Yeah, no, I didn't know
I've
that.
been giving it.
I didn't know that was in the game because I played 100% of the game with my Pulse, like my Bluetooth headphones.
Mike,
so they turned all that stuff off.
Yeah.
Chat, don't clip this question out of context. Mike, show me your best blow.
Took a blow.
You know what I mean?
Why did your eyes roll to the back of your head? That shouldn't happen when you blow.
So I'm playing some games. I'm having some fun, which is a great time. I am watching Arcane as well, like you. And so it's just going to be a great holiday of just having fun. Playing a lot of Warzone, of course, as usual. We're having the boys all together. Played with Nick last night, got some dubs. It
Hell
just
yeah.
feels good to win.
Hell yeah.
It feels good to be strategic in the Warzone, Blast,
Uh-huh.
right? You got to be thinking 2 steps ahead. Where's our next move? Where's the cover? Where do we get the advantage? How do we make sure we're in the right positions to win? What does everybody have on
See,
them?
that's like
These are the things you gotta be thinking of.
that's the way that I would like for battle royale games to play for me, where it's like, oh, you get left, I get right, like,
Yes.
fucking all these emergent moments of gameplay happening to make you feel fucking cool. It's never like that. Usually it's like I land, I loot a bunch, and I'm like, okay, this seems like a good loadout, boom, and I fucking die immediately. Like, that's how it goes for me every single time. And so good, God bless you for being able to
Thank
have
you.
that
Thank
experience for
It's a
you.
blast.
Barry, you keep popping up. What you got going on?
For Thanksgiving?
Yeah, for Thanksgiving, or did you, if you wanted to say something else?
Oh, well, the Friendsgiving that we're going to, I'm finally making for the first time in like a decade Buckeyes, which I used to make all the time for friends during the holidays, and I'm very excited for you to have that. It's a nice little dessert treat.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
very
I don't
excited
think
for that.
I've heard of Buckeyes.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it's purely an Ohio thing, but Ohio's known for like Buckeyes, like we're the Ohio State Buckeyes. It's a good
You're gonna
peanut butter
enjoy
and
'em.
chocolate.
Yep.
Yeah, Mike just showed me a picture of Buckeyes, and they look good.
You're going to enjoy those.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Also, watch Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Just watch what you want to watch.
No, I mean, here's the thing. Legitimately, it's not. I don't actually want to watch the Yu-Gi-Oh right now.
Yeah.
Now, did I get the inkling to want to play Yu-Gi-Oh in the last few days
Yu-Gi-Oh!
because of Magic? Yes, but I'm trying to stay away because I don't want to get distracted from Magic.
How good is Magic?
Magic is very
Let's
good.
just set the tone now for the audience
Yeah.
out there. We are into Magic.
Yes.
And we're going to continue to build decks, probably have a couple of streams of traditional standard Magic, but the goal is once a month, Commander streams, where we bring on a guest and we all play Commander, 4-player Commander.
That'd be sick.
You, me, Greg, a guest, having fun.
Hell yeah, I'm into it.
Let's make
I'm
that
into
happen.
it. Let's make it happen. Let's also make video game news happen because remember, this is Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. This is our last day of content for the rest of the week. As we take Thanksgiving break in the United States, we'll be back on Monday with our regularly scheduled programming. Remember, we're an 11-person business, all about live talk shows. So today, after KFGD, you're going to get our GAMESCAST, which is our Metaphor ReFantazio spoilercast featuring the one and only Michael Hyam. And then after that, the stream is going to be the Kind of Funny podcast Thanksgiving dinner. If you're a Kind of Funny member, you can get today's Gregway. Of course, thank you to our Patreon producers, Delaney Twining and Carl Jacobs. Today are brought to you by Shady Rays and Aura Frames, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 5 stories today.
A baker's dozen.
Starting with our number 1. The Witcher 4 has entered full-scale production. CD Projekt has confirmed. This is from Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. And I do have a super chat question for this one. What do you want out of Witcher 4? I know we're quite a few years away, but now that they're ending full production, I think conversation about it can ramp up a little bit. So
what do you want?
Let me know in super chats. What do you want out of Witcher 4? Production on the 4th Witcher game has begun. CD Projekt has confirmed. Quote, I'm pleased to announce that several weeks ago, it moved on to full-scale production, Chief Financial Officer Peter Lubowicz said of the game, which is codenamed Polaris, as part of the company's latest quarterly earnings results. Quote, of all our projects, this one is currently the most far along, and we're starting the most intensive phase of development. I wish to thank the team, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed for further progress, end quote. Game director Sebastian Kalemba also said in a post on X, quote, I'm thrilled to announce that Project Polaris has entered the full-scale production phase. With new challenges just around the corner, it's the talented and hardworking people who make me believe we can together make the upcoming Witcher saga a remarkable experience. No stopping now. Stay tuned for what's on the other side of the coin, end quote. It was announced in 2022 that Kalemba had been appointed to direct the new Witcher saga, which has been confirmed to be a trilogy of games. Mike Howard, Witcher 4 is in full production. What does that do for you?
Blessing, things are heating up.
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to CD Projekt Red. Congratulations to the team, and best of luck on the next phase of this. Very exciting news, of course. Witcher 3 absolutely was a banger. I'm very excited to see what they do next after, of course, all their learnings with Cyberpunk and that growth that they've had with that.
What do you think they learned from Cyberpunk that they can bring into Witcher 4?
You know, I think everybody would point to like the bad launch, right? But like, I truly think it is the RPG elements that they elevated on that second phase with Phantom Liberty of like, hey, how can we deepen these systems? What can we bring to this? And also, can we look at the combat, right? Do we love the combat? How do we change this up? Maybe looking at other franchises that's done similar combat with the kind of slow down, move into the magic, and then come back into real-time combat with the sword slashing. How do we blend that a little bit smoother? I would like to see, but I think it's going to be a fun time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to The Witcher 4, right? Like, I think it was a year ago or maybe 2 years ago. I forget when. Maybe there's a chat thing, right? Chat, let me know, when did The Witcher 3 like remaster come out for current gen? Because I picked that up. It was like around December that I think I picked that up and started playing it and was like, man, I could use a new Witcher game. Like, it's been a long time since 2015, which is funny because like, it feels like just yesterday that The Witcher 3 came out and Metal Gear Solid 5 came out and Undertale and Rocket League.
Going around that giant map, question marks everywhere.
Yeah, and that felt like I think that felt like a next-gen like fantasy RPG experience, right? Like that was a huge title to come out that year. And I think that generation, like that early on, I think that made waves, that did something. And I think for a lot of people, if you remember that same year, Fallout 4 came out. And Witcher 3 was kind of the thing to really take the wind out of Fallout 4's sails, right? Like it was a splash in a way that people were like, oh shit, like this is the game of the year right here.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people realized that they were like, when they picked up Witcher 3 for the first time or right before that game came out, I knew people were looking forward to it and there was hype behind it. But I don't think it was until people actually played it where they were like, oh shit, like this is actually a game changer right here. And I think that's how you get into this conversation about Cyberpunk and the expectations for Cyberpunk being that it's going to be a game changer as well in the ways that Witcher 3 felt like it was. And I think that kind of ballooned that hype for Cyberpunk. And I think there's a big conversation as far as launch expectation for Witcher 4 and like where CD Projekt is at for being able to launch Witcher 4 in a state that is not like a Cyberpunk. I don't expect it to be that, but like, who knows, right? Like we've seen crazier things happen at this point. So I think for sure that's a conversation, but I think there's also just a conversation as far as when you talk about the Witcher franchise. I think it's so time for a modern, like, new Witcher game that doesn't feel like it's from 2015, right? Like one that feels like it is taking the learnings of all of the open world games and the RPGs we've gotten since Witcher 3, things including, Cyberpunk, but then also things including Baldur's Gate 3, right? Things including Elden Ring, right? Things including Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like, there have been so many big steps taken in the open world genre and in the RPG genre since The Witcher 3. And, like, I hope we see a lot of those innovations in Witcher 4. Not that it's a completely different game than Witcher 3, of course. Like, Witcher 3 worked because it was uniquely Witcher, right? That, like, I don't want a game that is super different from that, but I hope that there are things that they can learn from all the releases, not just like a Cyberpunk that they can bring into Witcher 4.
That's well said, Bless. Yeah, I love that you're pulling from other games that we've seen since The Witcher 3 and what kind of fun inspirations you can take from them. You got me excited thinking of, like, what were the fun action-adventure games I was really excited about that you could pull from? What have been some great RPGs that you can use and try to elevate your systems with? But, like, The Witcher, a great world, a lot of lore. We all got hyped on the Netflix show. There's plenty of books for you to go read.
Yeah.
Where do they pull from? How do they create this next saga, which is going to be a trilogy? That's going to be wild, too. If you think about it, we're going to be in Witcher for a long time now, which is very exciting.
Well, they talk about it being a trilogy, which is, I think, one thing that I wonder if we stick to that, right? Like, we've seen that before with Mass Effect trilogy was a big one, and we've had video game trilogies in the past. But for where we're at, where video games are taking longer and longer to develop, like,
you say trilogy, you think 15 years?
Yes,
minimum,
1,000%. Yeah. And I'm like, are we geared up for a 15-year Witcher trilogy? I think a lot of the audience is, but then when you talk about that, right, you also have to factor in the fact that they're going to make more Cyberpunks.
Of course.
They have, I believe, I love them because they're very open with what their development pipeline is and, like, the projects that they have being worked on, because there's also the Witcher remake that they're working on, right? And I believe one of those games is going to be another Cyberpunk that they're working on. When you have all those projects in the works, I do wonder if we're talking about 15 years or if we're talking about, like, maybe 20.
Yeah, but it's interesting because, like, this is one of your tent poles. This is your moneymaker. We talk about those franchises in these different developers' catalogs that are like, you go back to this because this is the moneymaker, right? We saw with Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed they're not leaving that, right? And The Witcher and, of course, Cyberpunk here in the future are going to be that for CD Projekt Red. I don't see them going, hey, we made 2 out of the 3 Witchers and now we're taking a hard left turn and we're just done with that, right? I think The Witcher's an established franchise that they will keep going on and on.
Yeah. I just hope they're able to serve both those audiences enough to where both feel fed, right? Because, like, I would love it. Because I didn't need them to really be like, we're making another Witcher trilogy. I think you say that partly to feed your fans who maybe coming off of Cyberpunk, maybe are like, yo, what's the future of this thing that I love? Because so many people love Witcher, and you put out that Witcher show. There's a Witcher hype right now. You need to keep those people fed. So I think that's why you come out and you're like, hey, we're gonna do a Witcher trilogy. Like, this is our plan with it. I would have been down if you were just like, hey, we're working on the Witcher remake. And we're working on The Witcher 4, and there will be more Witchers in the future. And we're also working on Cyberpunk. That way, I'm not sitting here like, oh, a trilogy, man, I'm sure I'm going to play these games in the next 15 years. When, if we're talking about it now, right, like, the last Witcher game came out in 2015. If we're continuing that cadence, Mike, that's 27 years. And that's not even, like, we're not even at Witcher 4 coming out yet. If Witcher 4 comes out in 2020... Let's be conservative here, right?
Be real.
Let's say 20.
They just started.
Let's say at the very earliest.
Yeah.
At the very earliest, and I don't even think this is realistic. 2027.
Yeah, I'm thinking 2028, Bless.
Yeah. Let's say 2028. That's 13 years, Mike. That's 13 years.
It's exciting
What's
times.
13 times 3?
It's exciting
39?
times.
39 years? For
it's going to be exciting times.
That's why I'm like, a Witcher trilogy, and granted, are they going to do a Cyberpunk in between all these? Is it going to be the thing of, hey, we're going to be able to accelerate development on these because Witcher 4 is going to be the groundwork, and then Witchers 5 and 6 are going to be building on top of that, so maybe we're able to get those out in 3 years, 4 years? Maybe. I just feel like they have a large task ahead of them.
Especially if they're going, like Chat was saying, after Witcher 4, the next project in the pipeline is not the next Witcher game. It'll be the next Cyberpunk game.
Yeah. And then you factor in a remake in there.
And when did Cyberpunk originally come out? Was that
2020? End of 2020.
Okay. Oof.
These are all exciting times.
We're gonna be 60.
It's
CD
exciting times.
Projekt Red is great. I love their games. I'm very excited to see them grow. I'm very excited to see what they've learned from with their prior games. And, this is exciting stuff because they make some great RPGs.
Yeah.
And some great games. Very exciting.
I want to bring in a super chat, of course. I asked, what do you want out of Witcher 4? I only got one so far from Mellowfellow, who says character creator for Witcher 4.
Oh, really?
That's interesting. I
don't
feel
know
like
about
that's an
that.
unpopular one, right? I feel
Okay.
like people loved the fact that people love Geralt as a character, and I think the fact that you're playing as an established character here.
Make your own Witcher.
I don't know if people want that.
I don't love that.
Yeah.
I do like Okay, interesting. And I like. Could go. Could be.
Chat, let me know. Was in all the projects that CD Projekt Red has announced, are any of them a multiplayer Witcher game? Because I feel like maybe there are talks about that. And if that's the case, I could see a character creator for that. If there's a multiplayer Witcher game.
How would you play that out? What is that? 4 Adventuring Friends? Is that like For Honor where we're battling each other?
No, it would. I think I don't even know what it would look like.
Yeah, what does that look like?
I don't know, man. Because we've had like co-op like RPGs. I guess we don't have as many co-op like fantasy RPGs unless they're like MMOs or something.
Man, if Dragon's Dogma 2 was 4-player co-op.
See, that's what I would
Just
think.
imagine running around with your homies
Actually,
in a world
that
like
would be my pitch.
But
Is
it's The Witcher.
My pitch would be it'd be Dragon's Dogma style gameplay, but you're your own Witchers that you've created, and you're going around with friends slaying creatures.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be awesome, but I also don't know if that's the kind of game they want to make. Yeah,
Tough.
people are saying Monster Hunter Witcher, which I don't know, maybe, but again, like, does CD Projekt Red want to make that type of game? I know they've talked about the multiplayer Cyberpunk game, which almost feels a bit more appropriate, right, for that kind of style of gameplay. Because then you're talking about GTA Online.
I'm sure these are all fun conversations they've had in the studio.
Yeah.
Right, because there's never a bad idea. You throw them at the wall, and we stick with the good ones. But, like, there is fun of, like, they've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
And they've talked about these crazy ideas.
Well, like, and
man, they probably cooked up on some fun stuff.
I mean, some of these ideas were already greenlit and they changed, right? Like Cyberpunk was supposed to have a multiplayer mode come out like as an expansion for the base game, and they're like, "Yo, actually, never mind. Like, we're gonna not do this because we gotta just fix the base game now."
Paris literally says I should be on this KFGD. Paris, you can call in anytime.
Paris, call in.
It's Mike and Bless.
No.
It's Mike and Bless on a Tuesday.
Paris,
We're here.
if you want to be on the show, just hit me up.
Yeah, just hit a Barrett.
I've already told him
Chat every time.
I've already told
every
Paris.
time.
I've already told Paris
Just
he can
text
come
Barrett or Slack the
me.
general. You know what I mean? We got channels for the shit.
I'm already telling
Paris.
Paris, just call in. I'm already here, Paris. I
Just
see
call
you.
Mike's phone.
I already see
Just
it,
call
Paris.
Paris, do you have my number? I think you have my number. I just realized my notifications are
Don't
off.
call my phone because I live in a silent society. I can't hear anything, so don't call my phone.
Okay, well, you can't complain about the silent society and then put your phone on silent. You're part of the problem. just put your
Don't
phone
call
on.
my phone. I can't hear.
You understand? Vibrate is a thing. You can put your phone on vibrate.
It doesn't vibrate, Blitz. It does nothing.
What do you mean your phone
It's
doesn't
super
vibrate?
silent. I don't know. I've clicked the button. It doesn't make any noise.
Okay, well, this man doesn't know how phones work. Jesus Christ. A question I wanted to ask. I know we're going long on this, but I think it's an interesting thought experiment.
Okay.
Going off of where I opened talking about all the other RPGs that have come out since The Witcher 3, Mike, if you could take 3 features from RPGs that have come out since Witcher 3, and you can pick any RPGs that you want, that you would bring into Witcher 4. Well, actually, first of all, I didn't even ask you. Like, did you play Witcher 3? Are you a Witcher person?
I am a Witcher person.
Okay.
I played a lot of Witcher 3. I did not complete it because it's so big, but I played a lot of Witcher 3.
Gotcha.
I get addicted to the question marks on the map and having to complete every single one before going to the next area.
Yeah.
And that's not the correct way to play.
Because
you will slow your play down.
Oh, that's what happened to me.
Yes.
Like, I was doing side quests. I was playing it like Yu-Gi-Oh, where I was just going after Gwent quests. And I was like, this is Duelist Kingdom to me. This Novigrad is just Duelist Kingdom. I'm going around and I'm fucking dueling everybody. And then at some point in the main quest, they're like, hey, go find Dandelion. And I was like, I think I'm good. I put it down. I stopped playing Rocket League. What 2015, what a year. We got Witcher 3 followed by Rocket League. That's a 1-2 punch right there.
One of the goats there.
And then
Bloodborne.
Undertale later in the year. Metal Gear, what was that?
Bloodborne as well.
Yeah, but nobody played that in 2015. You know what I mean? We all were slow to the punch on that one.
Yeah.
These are jokes, Chad. I know we all played in 2015.
Undertale, yeah.
What are the RPGs that I would want them to take inspiration from and take different mechanics from?
Yes, give me 3.
I would start off with Elden Ring with boss fights. Witcher is known for having iconic characters, very interesting and scary monsters, great stories leading up to them. I would like to see an elevation and maybe like some cooler mini bosses, right? I don't need over the top crazy bosses like Elden Ring, but I would like some combat scenarios where it feels like I'm in an arena and I'm really fighting a tough, difficult boss here.
I like that.
And it's got to have some dodge and parries on that one. I would start with that. I guess that's combat-wise is what I'm looking for to drive that.
I think you touched on something good with like how Cyberpunk 2077, the update added a lot to like the RPG trees and like systems there, because like I don't know what common sentiment was on the Witcher 3's like upgrades and like systems there, but I remember being confused a lot. I remember like being in those menus and being like just not being in love with the upgrade system there, like in like the I guess like level up system there. Like there's stuff about it that I was kind of just like lost on. And so I'd love to see them maybe lean into, I guess you don't have to lean into skill trees, but like lean into making that part, like the character development portion of that game, like fun and interesting.
Yeah, we just looked at Path of Exile 2.
Yeah.
And that insane passive skill tree. That's just a universe of stars. And it's like, okay, that's overboard. But yeah, how do you deepen that and really make my Witcher a little bit different than yours? But we're all pretty close, but also like I have a lot more freedom, I guess, in the choice of what I want some of those things
It'd
to be.
really cool to have my Witcher look completely different from your Witcher by the time we finish our games.
I do love the hunts. I remember running around following that griffin in the beginning. Of course, I think a lot of people will remember that. I was just like, how do you elevate that and a little bit more, make that fun, right? You were looking for clues on the ground and you'd stop and look at the blood and then you'd keep following the track. You think of Monster Hunter and what that is. Do you somehow blend that to make that hunt a little more grand? And how do you make that more fun with the mechanics of instead of just walking up and inspecting a leaf with some blood on and then him walking to the next one? How do you make that more fun and engaging? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd like that because there's gonna be dope hunts in this.
Yeah. I mean, to your point about Elden Ring and combat, right? Like, I would even bring Dragon's Dogma 2 in the mix as far as like, you know, battling big creatures. Can I climb on top of them? Can I stab them in the head, right? Like, can I get on top of a griffin and like have it fly around and like, you know, I'm stabbing it and doing all that shit to take it down?
Ooh.
I think there's some stuff from Dragon's Dogma 2 in that regard that could be cool to try.
I like that, Bless. I like that a lot. Yeah, there's some fun stuff. It'll be interesting to see the magic. I think of how that combat was, and then now I think of games like Final Fantasy that uses that very close of like you're hacking and slashing, then you slow things down to do a quick spell, and then you come back out. There was a lot of that, and so how do I blend that a little bit better? Do I make it more active, or do I continue that of like hack and slash, slow it down, and then we fight again? I don't know how I want that better. I just think of that as like a big standout in my mind.
Were there companions? There weren't companions, right, in The Witcher 3? Were there?
Also, maybe turn down the screaming every single time whenever you would start to fight people. Remember that? The music would set in all the time.
Oh.
And you would just constantly be riding your horse and it would scream with the music and then it would come back down, then it would scream with the music and come back down. We can figure that out.
I don't remember that.
We can work on that. Companions would be cool.
No companions. I don't know. Here's the thing, right? I don't want it to be the thing where The Witcher 3 or The Witcher 4 has to be like every other RPG.
Of course.
So if they're like, actually, no, this doesn't have companions, then I think that's fine. Like, I think I find the ways to make your game unique. But one of the things that I do love about, and I think the thing that a lot of people love about Baldur's Gate 3 are those relationships that you make with people. And I think that there's maybe a lesson there you can take from Baldur's Gate 3 as far as like, man, how do we come out of Witcher with like not just Geralt, Ciri and Triss was one of the other main characters, right? How do we come out with like 8 or 10 characters that people are like, yo, I fuck with this? Because like Baldur's Gate 3, one of the cool things was everybody being like, nah, man, I love Astarion.
Yes.
No, I love Karlach. No, I love this person. No, I loved how many characters felt like they really, really mattered to that story and really, really mattered to that world. And I think there's something there might be something you can learn there as far as like how to build characters up for players to have that attachment to them, to like where it feels like you have a lot more that stand out.
Really exciting.
Triss and Yennefer. Thank you.
Yes.
Yennefer, I forgot about.
Really exciting to see the grand open world and how you elevate that now in 2024 and beyond, right? Of like, what is the color palette there? What is the cool points of interest? I always loved the crazy points of interest, how you would show up and see a cool statue or a crazy dungeon. What is that going to look like? How do we elevate that open world? Because coming from Dragon Age, I really enjoyed that world. I liked the color palette. I liked the look of the world. I liked the things they did. So let's see what they got.
A Witcher 4 that comes out let's say it comes out this generation or early next generation, right? That's going to look so fucking good. Because if you remember, 2015, Witcher 3 looked fantastic. I remember walking through like some of like the foresty areas and like the way that the lighting would come through the trees and the way that the set dressing was super strong. You would have like, it was super fucked up too because you'd have bodies hanging from trees as you're like riding around on Roach. Dude, that shit looked fantastic. And now you think about how Cyberpunk 2077 looks nowadays, and that's a game that oozes style for days. I think already I'm very excited for whatever they do with that, right? Because I have trust in that team when it comes to set dressing and style. Like, I think whatever they're going to do is going to knock it out the park.
It's going to be exciting. Can't wait.
Let's switch gears from Witcher to Cyberpunk with story number 2. New Cyberpunk Netflix animation has been announced as 2077 tops 30 million sales. This is Tom Ivan at Video Games Chronicle. CD Projekt has confirmed that it's partnered with Netflix for a new Cyberpunk animation project. Chief Financial Officer Peter Nilubowicz announced the news, along with new sales milestones for its Cyberpunk game franchise, as part of the company's quarterly earnings results on Tuesday. Quote, I also have some good news straight from Night City, he said. Sales of Cyberpunk 2077 have topped 30 million copies, while the Phantom Liberty expansion has sold 8 million units. These are impressive figures. They reveal the true size of the fan community and the scale of interest in the Cyberpunk universe. Both are very important to us, since we recently announced that next year, the game, along with its expansion, would be coming to Mac devices powered by Apple Silicon chips. I'm also very happy to announce that we're working on another animation project set in the Cyberpunk universe, which will be released on Netflix, end quote. Netflix previously teased plans for a new Cyberpunk animated series via I'll stay at Sear on the brain, via a short trailer released in September. They didn't confirm if the project is another collaboration with animation company Studio Trigger. So this is something that I think we knew before, but I think they're just confirming it themselves of like, yes, we are working on another animation. Yes, it's going to be with Netflix, but yeah, we don't know who's working on it.
Okay. I mean, another big congratulations on keeping that collaboration going and giving us more of that world. I think you brought it up earlier when we were talking about The Witcher, but you talk about Cyberpunk. That's a world that everyone wants to get lost in. That has the hype and the juice and the excitement all around. So I love that. More animation is always cool, especially with the video games and worlds that I love coming to that. So I'm all about it.
Barrett, what's up?
Just to take over the segment a little bit for some kind of anime. Mike, if it wasn't Studio Trigger, who right now is doing Delicious in Dungeon, and like they're also known for
is that
Kill
them?
la Kill and Promare, what would be like another different studio that I guess like both of you would want to see take over like the Cyberpunk universe?
It's funny. I keep seeing that Delicious in Dungeon is out on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
because I keep seeing it on the homepage.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was them. I keep seeing it being like, oh, this looks really cool, but it maybe some bullshit. Now I'm like, fuck, I might have to go. I might check that out.
Apparently it's very good, and people keep telling me to watch it, but I don't.
Fuck. Okay, I might watch that actually.
And I refuse to pay for Netflix.
Add that to my Thanksgiving.
Oh, babe, you get on my
activities.
Netflix. I'll give you my Netflix. Bro.
Oh, can I have your Netflix too?
Yeah, we'll pass that around.
Yeah.
I mean, you know who I try to call up? The people who make Arcane.
Here's my
finish
thing.
that season 2, final season. How much?
Here's my
what
thing.
do I got to do?
I think that's the only way you can live up to the last Cyberpunk anime, right? I think the only way you can live up to Edgerunners is if you get the Arcane people to do it. Because I don't know, if you don't do that, I don't know how you make something that people like as much as Edgerunners. Edgerunners is like
you think so?
Dude, Edgerunners is like a 10 out of 10 anime, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 10 out of 10 season of anime. It's incredible.
What if they did the one where they have multiple studios working on it, Barrett? Like we've seen with, where they have different teams and everybody gives you their own interpretation. Would you be okay with that?
I think that's fun. I don't think that sells well to a general audience of moving animation style from story to story.
Yes.
And Visions works because every episode is its own thing, where I imagine if you're going to do another season of a Cyberpunk anime, you're going to want to tell like a full season of like a full story. I think the easy answer that I know chat's already been saying is Science Saru that makes Dandadan. I'm just thinking of like other like really flashy stylist studios that like put love into every single goddamn frame.
Yeah. I think my thing is I think if you're making another Cyberpunk thing that's not being done by Studio Trigger, you got to find a very different style. Like I don't think you can go for a flashy anime. Like I think you got to go for something that like feels tonally just way different. That way people aren't making as much of that direct comparison. Because like if you're gonna make another flashy anime, just figure out how to make Studio Trigger make it again. Because I think that's all people would want out of that.
That's fair.
Yeah, if you don't do that, then I would want maybe the Star Wars Vision thing of like every episode is a different studio, but also it is all standalone stories within the Cyberpunk world. I think you could pull that off. Or yeah, you find a studio that's doing something completely different.
Chad has also brought up Blur.
Yeah, Blur,
What
who's
do we
doing
think?
Secret Level.
Yeah, could we have some fun with that?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we got to see what they do with Secret Level, but like I think that's a good contender. I put them in the same conversation as far as like I think that is something that maybe could live up to what Studio Trigger did, but also be different enough to where it feels like a unique thing. It feels like a special thing. Somebody said in chat, too expensive though. That is another thing. Is that would be expensive.
Yeah, that would challenge Arcane Season 2 for most expensive.
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's exciting. You know, I'm sure Netflix wants great stuff like that on their platform. They'd help out on that bill.
Who does? I hope the answer isn't the answer I'm thinking of, but who does Chainsaw Man? Is it Mappa?
Ooh.
Is it Studio Mappa? Because they do way too much. Yeah, it is. Fuck.
He says the Castlevania studio.
Oh,
I liked Castlevania.
Was that was same dude who's doing Devil May Cry, right?
the same director. I do wonder who the
Why can't I think of his name? We talk about him all the time.
Yeah.
Somebody in chat will throw it at me. But while we're doing that, Adi Shankar. Yes, that's who. That's who it is.
Yes.
I don't see Adi on the Castlevania production.
Oh, maybe.
No. He's an executive producer.
Yeah, I can see that. I want to bring in some super chats. Yang Fam writes in again, answering the super chat question from earlier. Stats I can upgrade into a specific build, maybe.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Like we talked about, how can I be different from you? How close do they keep us in similarity? It'll be interesting to see what they do with that RPG element side of things.
Yeah. And then, unrelated, before we move on to the next one, Zeke Speak writes in and says, Blessing, did you beat Golden Idol? Because I finished it last night and holy shit. I beat Case of the Golden Idol, and I'm about halfway through Rise of the Golden Idol right now. And let me tell you, some good ass video games right here.
Oh, yeah.
I love a good puzzle, man.
He's puzzle poppy.
When you bring it together with a good story as well, and it's unexpected.
How long are these run times?
I mean, probably between 6 and 9 hours.
Okay.
It took me like 9 hours. I feel like Barrett probably beat him quicker.
Well, I played with Alyssa for half of the first game, and so that took us roughly 6 hours. She was busy when I was playing the second game, so she only was coming in and out a little bit, and that also took me 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
I just want to pitch it for people out there because both of those games are it's got that late 90s point and click adventure vibe with the more intense mechanics of Carmen Sandiego. And it's just very satisfying to put these puzzle pieces together and figure out what's going on in this moment in time. They're fucking awesome. I do like the first one more though.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do I have to play the first one to play the second one?
I would recommend playing the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And also, yeah, I so far I do like the first one better than the second one, I
still think the second one's great.
Yeah.
The first one I think is a 9. The second one I think is an 8.5.
Yeah, I like some of the changes that they make for the second one, but yeah, so far I just like the first one. I saw somebody in chat say, is Blessing wearing a Magic Man or a Psych Man in Magic Head shirt? I am. Big Psych fan.
Who's that?
It's from the show Psych. The reference.
Oh, Nick is going to be so happy with you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's seen me wear this shirt before.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Psych is one of the few things me and Nick have in common. We both love Psych. We're both psychos. That's what they call them. That's what they call us. And we call you guys Kind of Funny Best Friends. Of course, a lot of you go to patreon.com/kindoffunny to get the Kind of Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. We also got that available on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames. But also, some of you don't get the Kind of Funny membership to get the show ad-free. And so here are some ads.
This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. Like a lot of people, my mom is not the most tech savvy, so it seems weird to get her a tech-adjacent gift, but Aura's digital frame is actually perfect. That's because, yes, it's tech, but it's so easy. Seriously, it's so easy to get started, but then once you do, the tech is incredible. You can upload photos right from your phone in just a click. It'll even pair photos together for me like 2 pictures of the same person or from the same day. There's no memory cards or USBs required. Most people at Kind of Funny have Aura Frames at their desks, and it's always so fun to see what memories they have displayed. It is such a great gift for your parents or grandparents, and you can even surprise them with their gift being preset with your own pictures. For a limited time, you can visit auraframes.com and get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames by using promo code KINDOFFUNNY at checkout. That's AURA frames.com, promo code KINDOFFUNNY. This exclusive Black Friday Cyber Monday deal is their best of the year, so don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply. This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for this holiday season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have all of your gift-giving needs covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Durable frames and world-class optics for all outdoor adventures. With an extensive array of styles and colors, you're bound to find the perfect pair of Shady Rays sunglasses. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go, and it's always such a great experience wearing Shady Rays when I'm out and about looking dope. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Exclusively for you listening right now, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. Head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDOFFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Shadyrays.com, use code KINDOFFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades.
And we're back. Mike, you want to talk about the sales numbers real quick?
We didn't hit on that news. I mean, you talked about it, but we didn't really just circle back to that really quick. Of course, you had the big sales numbers for Cyberpunk 2077. Topped 30 million copies, and Phantom Liberty, the expansion, sold 8 million copies.
That's really impressive for DLC.
I was going to ask you, because we talked about Final Fantasy DLC last week, me and Greg, where we were talking about, do you just move on? Is that single-player DLC worth it, taking the time and the resources to make that, to get the sales? Is that sales going to be enough? 8 million, pretty impressive there.
I mean, that's really impressive. I think to that conversation, it is so contextual as far as how much did that original game do, right? Like, how many sales of that original game did you do? How many copies are out there? Like, how many people are actually playing that? And then also, how big is the DLC? I think periodically with Phantom Liberties and Shadow of the Erdtrees, I think you can make it worth it, because for both those games, like, those base games did really well as far as unit sales. And so, like, if you're looking at, we're going to sell the DLC at, let's say, $40, and we're able to sell 5 to 10 million units of that DLC, guess what? That's a lot of money you're bringing in. But a lot of games don't have that luxury, right? Like, how much are people paying for... I'm trying to think of another example of a DLC. Like, the Spider-Man DLC, I think, is the one we bring up all the time as far as, like, did this do what they wanted it to do? Like, Spider-Man, of course, sells a lot unit-wise, but also, like, the DLC came out very shortly after, didn't feel as vital, didn't feel as expansive as either the other ones that we just talked about. And also, I imagine, wasn't as expensive for people to buy. And so you look at that return on the Spider-Man side, and it's like, all right, well, if we sold at the time, because we're talking about months after Spider-Man came out, right? Like, if we sold, let's say, 7, 8, 9 million units, and we're selling, let's say, 1 million units of DLC that cost $20 for people to buy, like, might not be worth it for them as much. If those numbers are even, I know those numbers probably aren't even close to accurate, but I think that's the kind of thing we're talking about. Compared to 30 million sales for Cyberpunk and then 8 million for that DLC, those are big numbers.
Really impressive.
Very impressive numbers.
I think it shows you that solo deal or single player DLC can work. It definitely depends on the franchise, the game itself, those sales numbers as you brought up. There's got to be the right concoction for it to be worth it, but very impressive, especially after Cyberpunk's launch, right? To think of the road to get to Phantom Liberty and then to have that come out and have the juice to get 8 million, that's impressive stuff.
Super impressive.
Yeah.
Story number 3. Nintendo Switch eShop is closing in 2026 in China. This is Ed Nightingale at Eurogamer. Nintendo will close its Switch eShop and all network services in China in 2026. After March 31st, 2026, the digital store will no longer sell games, plus free trials will no longer be available. Then, from May 15th, 2026, Nintendo will stop all download and code redemption services, meaning DLC will no longer be redeemable. All other network-related services will also end on May 15th, 2026. Nintendo has not stated why it's ending these services in the country. However, it is launching a reward program providing users with up to 4 Nintendo games for free for WeChat users. These will be redeemable between November 27th, 2024 to March 31st, 2026. This is a weird one that I have little to no context for. I know Tencent helps distribute Nintendo stuff in China, right? Like, they regulate that. But outside of that, I have no idea what the fuck is going on here.
The Nintendo Switch eShop.
Yes.
the consoles that we're all still playing to this day
Yes.
is going to shut down its eShop.
Yes.
Wild.
In 2026. So you won't be able to buy games. You won't be able to redeem shit. I don't even think you can download shit, right?
I mean, my mind goes to like
Nintendo will stop all download services.
yeah, my mind goes to like this got to be some government stuff, right?
Yeah.
This has got to be way above Nintendo just turning this off, moving to the Switch too. This is clearly there's some policies in play here that's why they're turning this off.
1000%. Like I do wonder. Like somebody in chat was talking about tariffs or like I don't know the context, but I imagine that there's probably some context there as far as maybe there's a regulation that's made it more expensive for Nintendo and Tencent to operate in China, and they don't see it worth it, and so they're like cut the cord as fast as possible. In 2026 is maybe the earliest.
Or
they
maybe
can do
time for new contract renewals.
Yeah, maybe.
Time to have the conversation again of like, hey, who's going to handle this stuff? How do we get this going again?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, this is one that I was going to say for Wii News because I was like, I don't think we have much to say about it, but it's also one that I'm like, this is big news. So let's bring it up in big news and talk about it for a second because this is buck wild.
Yeah, you'd have to go find someone who's a lot more informed than me on this one because, this is a head scratcher.
Yeah.
When I read this earlier this morning, all I could say was, what is going on over there?
That's crazy.
Really quick, because I hold on, don't move your glass. I was in your glass.
Oh God, no. There you go.
A lot of chat is asking if it's maybe for plans of a new OS. I think if it was that, I think you would see these plans around not just China but everywhere else. I also think because of what they have said, at least in shareholder meetings about the syndication between the Switch and the successor of the Switch, I don't think that's gonna like blow up like the Switch OS and storefront and all that stuff. I think that would just be a weird move.
Story number 4. BioWare veteran studio shuts down before releasing a game. This is Ash Parrish at The Verge. Humanoid Origin, the game studio founded by former BioWare general manager Casey Hudson, is shutting down operations. The closure was announced in a post on the company's LinkedIn page. Quote, despite efforts to shield the studio from broader challenges in the industry, an unexpected shortfall of funding left us unable to sustain operations, the post read. Humanoid Origin was founded by Hudson in 2021 when it was then known as Humanoid Studios. Hudson started the studio after leaving a 20-year career at BioWare, where he worked as a producer and director on several of the studio's seminal titles, including Mass Effect and Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Hudson left BioWare in 2014 for a brief stint at Microsoft Studios before returning to BioWare in 2017. Then, in 2020, he left BioWare for good, saying it was time to, quote, make way for the next generation of studio leaders, end quote. Sad news.
Yeah, really tough news. And it goes to show you, man, what a name. Trying to build a team and just couldn't get funding is wild to think about in 2024.
Yeah.
That's where we stand.
And 2024, I think, is a big part of it, right? The fact that this year, last year, and seemingly in just the current state of what the industry is, it is very hard to get games funded. It is very hard to keep people employed. It is very hard to make that money go around, especially if you're an independent studio, right? Like AAA studios, all big old companies have problems of their own regarding that, but especially if you're an independent studio right now, a big challenge is to just hey, we want to be able to fund our next game. We want to get to our next game. And to be in a place where a name like Casey Hudson can't get to their first game, it's oh man, that sucks.
Yeah, of course. And now, everybody who jumped ship to go join Casey and the team over there for what they were going to create and join that culture now has to go forth and find something new. So best of luck to all of them. Hopefully you land on your feet with no problems.
Mike, getting a game out in 2024, it's a big accomplishment. It's a big task.
Big task.
But if I want something smaller, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
Blessing, I take you to our last news story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Story number 5, it's Wii News. The 15th annual Devolver Digital Delayed Awards 2024 goes live tomorrow.
I fucking love them so much.
Okay.
15th annual killed me just now because I didn't even read that when I put it in the doc earlier.
Got me.
I just understood.
And it's an award show celebrating all of the brave developers delaying their games outside of the fiscal year.
What games? What games are going to get delayed? Was Skate Story supposed to come out this year?
Is that Devolver?
I thought it was. That might be Annapurna. It's definitely one of them. That might be Annapurna. You might be right.
No, you're right. Yeah, that is Devolver. All they said was this year, so I imagine.
For sure, that's one of them. What else did Devolver even have this year?
I mean, I was convinced a couple months ago that we were not going to get what was the cute one where you went from 2D to 3D? And
Oh,
Plucky Squire.
Plucky Squire. Like that game was like
I thought you were
dead
talking about
silent.
Angerfoot. Angerfoot did come out though.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like this wasn't. Well, hold on. Let's talk about Devolver Digital for a second, because I love me some Devolver Digital. They're
Where's
one of my
that
favorite.
Baby Steps game? They got Baby Steps on this, man. Get me in that Baby Steps.
Devolver
game.
Digital, one of my favorite publishers, but I feel like I don't know if it was their year this year. Is that crazy to say? Is that nuts? Am I going? Am I going nuts, Barrett?
They got the Plucky Squire. They got Neva.
Okay, Neva was
So those
good.
are two right there. They got the
Angerfoot
Crush
came out.
House.
What was that?
Crush House.
Oh, Crush House came out.
right.
Yeah.
You got Angerfoot there.
Angerfoot. But like, I feel like none of these games were the breakouts. I feel like usually they have
Okay.
like Cult of the Lamb was 2 years ago.
Yeah, it went
Yeah,
crazy.
Cult of the Lamb
Of course,
went
of
nuts.
course.
You know, I'm looking here. I don't know what Sumerian 6 is. Actually, I do know what Sumerian 6 is because I think I had.
Children of the Sun, the sniper game.
All right, cool.
That came out. Oh yeah, that was great.
Pepper Grinder.
Grinder.
Here's the
Phantom
thing.
Abyss.
We're
No, that
naming
was
games
earlier.
that are good to great.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we're not. I don't think any of these are like the breakouts that they usually have. I'm trying to look to see
Okay.
what previous
Well,
years.
we got to
they-
give them some love for good to great games, though, too.
Oh, for sure. They
know
had
what I mean? We gotta
Talos
give 'em
Principle
love.
2, which is cool. But like when I think of Devolver, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe this is just me. Because yeah, Cult of the Lamb was huge. I guess Trek to Yomi wasn't like that big when it came out. Inscription was a fucking banger right there.
What a
See, that's
good
what I'm
game.
talking
I
about.
feel
Death's
like their
Door.
big breakout was the Plucky Squire this year, and I only say that just because it got enough attention to get nominated for Game Awards.
I guess, yeah.
Whether
I guess
that-
Plucky Squire was just one that didn't speak to me as much.
Yeah,
Because I'm looking for, because like
that one.
I finally hit the point in like their website where I'm like, yeah, Inscription, Death's Door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fucking Boomerang X.
Watch out.
Boomerang X is not like that big of a step above the games we mentioned this year, but it's still a fucking great game. So yeah, it might be me. Might be me. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom timeline placement has been officially confirmed. It comes right after Triforce Heroes and before Zelda 1. Barrett, what do you and the nerds think about that?
Yeah. It's all about keeping the timeline right, Barrett.
Barrett, for audio listeners, Barrett's face is in his hands right now.
It's just one of those, like, I thought after Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, I really thought that they were going to be like, you know what? We're not going to update this anymore. It doesn't fucking matter. Who gives a shit? So the fact that they're just, like, going back and acknowledging the bullshit timeline again, it's like, all right, cool.
It's What do you mean bullshit?
I mean, it is bullshit. I'd say
What?
that in Zelda in review.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Ocarina happened, and that split the timelines in two.
Yeah, 3.
When did this happen? When the third timeline?
Wind Waker is in its own timeline, essentially.
Huh.
Because there's the timeline where the hero dies.
Yeah.
There's the timeline where the hero wins, where we follow Link as a child. And then there's the timeline where Link wins, but the future is separated because Link never existed in that future or some crazy. I don't know.
You're right,
Been
it's
a couple-
bullshit. You're right, it's bullshit.
fucking
It's
bullshit.
fucking bullshit.
Anyway, they put another 2D Zelda game in the 2D Zelda game timeline, which is where all the 2D Zelda games live. It's the Fallen Hero timeline. Cool.
All right, we did it. From Section 9 Interactive on Twitter, we've entered a publishing partnership with Epic Publishing. Our team is very excited as they've been tremendous partners in helping bring our creative vision to life. We appreciate everyone's support along the way and can't wait to share more soon. Section 9 Interactive, I had to look into them.
Yeah, I'm looking them up right now.
If you
Tell
go to
me.
their website, they have like a really cool looking game on there. It's like one of those
Oh,
ones where I'm
okay.
like, oh, this might be a blessing joint. I should have put a
yeah.
link in here. I
It
didn't
is
put a link.
very
I'm sorry,
cool
Barrett.
looking.
But yeah,
It
Section
reminds
9.
me of like Inside kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of game.
And they worked on stuff we know. What did they work on? Look up what they worked on, Mike, while I go through
Look up
this.
what Section 9 worked on. Okay.
The Xbox, it's something that we know. It's like 2 games that we know.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's not popping up on their website. Let's see. I'll try to find it.
The Xbox Avatar Editor app is closing due to low engagement.
They worked on Little Nightmares.
Little
is what they
Nightmares 1
said.
and 2, thank you.
And then Little Big Planet on the Vita. Okay, well, hold up. That was
Yeah.
some big news you just said right there.
Oh, the Xbox
The
Avatar?
Okay, R.I.P. my Avatar.
Are you?
Okay?
Are you?
Now, did I buy
What
some
was-
shit on that Avatar? Yeah, I did.
Of course you did.
Okay, I had Jack Skellington Nightmare Before Christmas PJ pants on. I had a Warriors t-shirt and I had a Colorado Rockies hat.
You're describing PlayStation Home.
And I used to spin a basketball. Then at one time I was riding a unicorn. Man, R.I.P. the Avatars.
Yeah?
Brought to you in the 360
When was
days.
the last time you booted up the Avatars?
Probably about 3 years ago. Just to double check and make
And
sure
that's their most active user right
You know
there.
what I mean? And I'm active.
That's their most active
Because like
user.
there was this moment where it's like, is 1 versus 100 coming back? Should I update this avatar? Should I be ready for the hype? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure my avatar was looking like me when it was game time. You know what I mean? But man, what a moment. We had Xbox arcade games that used your avatar. We had Xbox profiles that were showcasing your avatar, and we just moved past that.
When did those avatars start?
Start?
Yeah.
360 days.
Was it? I mean, it must have been after Mii's though, right? Mii's must have came before.
You think the Wii started with the Mii's,
Yeah.
and then yeah, probably.
And like Mii's aren't really. I guess
No.
Mii's are. I guess technically Mii's are still a thing, but like they're not really a thing.
Yeah,
anymore.
no, I think we've all moved past that kind of digital avatar. We've just gone to just you.
Which is kind of sad. I don't know.
I miss the avatar. I liked my avatar.
Bring Mii's back.
Yeah, they
I'm-
definitely dropped off on the avatar. I don't even think on the Xbox Series X and S you're really seeing your avatar in any way, shape, or form. Like on your profile, you're
Yeah.
not seeing it like you used to.
No, not at all.
No, they've gone.
Rest in peace, Xbox avatars. From Noble, you can now purchase classic Capcom games like Dino Crisis or Resident Evil Director's Cut on PSN. The OST of Brain Age, Sudoku included, is now available on Nintendo Music. Donkey Kong Land 2 is now available on Nintendo Switch Online. Rift of the Necrodancer launches February 5th, 2025. Bear, do you want to read this one?
Motherfucking Nine Souls is out now on consoles if you want to play one of the best games of this year, which I would describe as a 2D Sekiro-like, that's all about being a Perry Poppy in a very beautiful Tau-punk art style where you play as a little cat man and you're going across the ship killing your friends, your former coworkers. It's sick as fuck. It's got great writing, and it's a very fun Metroidvania as well. Play it. It's out now on consoles, and I believe it's out on Game Pass as well. So there you go. You don't have an excuse anymore.
I did download it like last week when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do during the weekend.
That's a top 5 for me this year.
Star Wars Hunters is coming to Steam. This next one's from Video Games Chronicle. The full list of classic Yu-Gi-Oh games included in the forthcoming Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days
snap.
collection has seemingly been revealed via the back of the game's retail box. Now, here's the thing, Mike. You think I'm a sicko now with Magic. When this Yu-Gi-Oh! Early Days collection comes out, oh man.
Listen, you're in your trading card game.
I really
phase
am
right now.
yeah.
You're in an era. You're in a
But
moment.
I've always been into card games, but I think it's just like
Yes.
it's really happening right now as far as the trading card games. Because yeah, like I used to be a Yu-Gi-Oh sicko on here. I mean, I'm not gonna read all the games because there's a lot. They do have the two of the ones that matter. They're missing one major game here, which I understand. But like they have Yu-Gi-Oh Dark Duel Stories, which was my first Yu-Gi-Oh video game on Game Boy Color. They used to play. Oh man, I used to be obsessed. And they also have the other one. Hold on, they have a bunch of nerdy ones here. The one
I didn't know Yu-Gi-Oh had so many games.
Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh has dude. This isn't even scratching the
Yu-Gi-Oh's
surface.
got a lot of games.
I think these
yeah.
are just the handheld ones.
That's crazy.
Yu-Gi-Oh World Championship Tournament 2004, Mike.
Okay.
That's the one I used to cook up in that game, Mike.
2004, man.
The
that was
Yu-Gi-Oh
going.
World Championship Tournament 2004 for Game Boy Advance, Mike. I used to cook up in that game.
So it was the full-on card game that Yu-Gi used to play?
Yeah.
And that you could buy the cards and play? I had a lot of those cards back in the day.
Oh, I had a lot of those cards
A
too.
lot of those
Man,
cards, yeah.
one of my friends, he was on like the bus, the morning bus on the way to school. He definitely stole one of my Blue Eyes cards. His name was, I think, was it
Nothing
Sid?
worse than that.
No, it wasn't Sid.
We were
Sid
all
was
young
cool.
kids. Nobody really understood that, and people
Yeah.
were taking each other's cards.
That's fucking
You know, if you
up.
could go back, I need the chat to know that I'm really looking hard for my Xbox avatar as well.
You can't find it?
Yeah, someone said it's in your achievements, not on your phone achievements. I'm trying to look at it. I'm not clicking on it. I'm not finding it. Okay, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Then the thing
You
that's
would have to
missing here-
explain Yu-Gi-Oh to me because it's been so long. I don't remember how to play that.
Oh, really? Oh, I'd love to teach you how to play
You know what I
Yu-Gi-Oh.
mean? Does it have mana like the other games
No.
we're playing?
No.
Okay.
You sacrifice. So basically, you have cards in your hand that are the more powerful cards.
Okay.
You have to sacrifice cards on the field to then be able to play those cards.
How cool.
But like for the most part, like a lot of the weaker cards, you can just play off the bat.
that's
You're not
cool.
sacrificing mana or anything.
This is what you were playing here.
Yes.
This is on the Game Boy Advance.
Advanced, yes. I used to be hooked on this game.
Damn.
I was playing it. This is how I was playing it because I didn't have a Game Boy Advanced.
Oh, okay.
I had an Android phone.
Okay.
So allegedly,
Oh, okay.
allegedly, I would be emulating this game on my phone via a GBA emulator and playing this
Damn.
in the back of class.
Look at you, so talented on getting that.
Yeah, dude. I was making it happen.
That's
I was
crazy.
winning duels. That's it for Wii News. The game that's missing that, like, I think this collection is specifically, again, handheld and portable stuff, so I understand. But, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses, one of the coolest games ever.
Someone wrote that in the chat. Now, what is that? Is that like a PS2 title or something like that?
Yep, PS2 title.
Okay.
Kind of more strategy. Like, it changed the rules of Yu-Gi-Oh! To be more of a strategy game than a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. But, like, the vibes are fucking cool, man, on this game. I gotta, Barrett, look up versus Yorkists.
Are all of these, Bless, just nothing but card games?
Yes.
All of those are just card games.
I've not played most of these. So maybe, I mean, I would imagine that maybe some of these are adventure games, but you're gonna play cards.
Has Yu-Gi-Oh! Always just been strictly card games and video games, or is there like adventure games with Yu-Gi-Oh?
Cards.
Just always the card on the table.
Yeah, like I think
that's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is about.
Yeah,
course,
I think the craziest you'll get is maybe a game where you're walking around as Yu-Gi or whatever, but you're still, I believe you're still getting into card matches.
Okay.
It's not like you're fucking fighting as Dark Magician or anything like that.
That
There
would
are the
be cool.
dungeon dice monsters too. That's a good point. We don't talk about dungeon dice. We don't talk about
There you go,
that episode
There you
fucking
go.
sucked. All right, let's be real. Fuck dungeon dice monsters. Now it's time to look at super chats. Let me see what you guys are saying up in here. Josh EG writes in and says, played a lot of trading card games. Digimon TCG is the most fun.
Yeah.
What we need to do, Mike, and I don't know how to pitch this to the founders,
Okay.
but like a temporary TCG podcast.
Where we try a new TCG once a week.
Where we just talk
and
about
at the
it.
end of the week,
We just talk
about it.
like, because this is definitely not a permanent thing right
Yeah,
here.
of course.
Because like the flame is
Just
going to
a
go
couple
out.
of weeks.
Spoilers: the flame is going to go out. But
Not
like
on Magic though. We're gonna keep that flame lit.
between
y'all.
Magic, Pokemon TCG, and Yu-Gi-Oh, I think we got a weekly podcast for like 8 weeks.
I like that. I think we got something cooking here.
There's something there.
Kind of funny tries.
Pocket Games Cast. Think about it.
Look at this pull I had last night.
Oh my god! Show that to the camera.
Little Articuno.
Show that to your
Little
one.
Articuno EX right there.
That's hot right
Yeah,
there.
thank you. I needed one because I hadn't had one in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed a big pull.
What was the one I got? I got
Keep
one.
me in the game.
I got a new card this morning. I forget what it was though. It was like one of the EX ones, and I felt good about it. And I got my Mew. Huge.
Oh, I got that.
I got my Mew.
Finally
Thank
got a Pikachu.
I
EX.
collected them all.
I was surprised I didn't have that yet.
Samson L writes in and says, "Do y'all remember the Eye of Judgment on iToy?"
No, I don't know what that is.
I never had the iToy.
What's an iToy?
It was like the PS2 camera.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I remember
Yeah.
those. Okay, I remember.
I never had the iToy. I had like a demo disc that had iToy stuff on it, but because I didn't have the iToy, all I could do was just like read the games. I couldn't actually play them, and so I'm sorry, I got nothing for you. CJ Splitson says Drake is suing everyone. KF next? Question mark.
Well, we haven't taken any shots at Drake yet, but maybe me and
Yes.
Bless could get in the beat in the.
I don't know if you heard the KF podcast with me and Roger. Right? I think we're definitely taking some
You
shots.
you sent him some shots.
Like we're being honest, which
Okay.
is that he lost.
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
That's
no way of
honesty.
not saying he didn't lose.
Well, I mean, he's trying to say, he's saying that all those not like
Well,
us
he
streams
lost.
were fake.
Him suing is definitely him going, I'm not owned. I'm not owned.
It's a weird one because like yesterday, as all the stuff was coming out, I went through this weird like journey of being like, oh man, that fucking sucks, Drake. Why are you doing this? To then be like looking into it and being like, oh, there might be actually some like music business stuff that's actually might be important here because like there's a deeper conversation to be had about these large companies and like how they go about counting streams with Spotify and like they might be abusing that stuff a little bit. And then this morning it was I think announced that Drake was suing for defamation as well. And that's where I was like, all right, fuck that. No. No, you can't sue for defamation after you got into a rap battle.
There was a
You
moment.
stepped into the ring.
There was a moment when he took his first L. That was when you get on a plane, you fly out to anywhere, and you just go hike for months.
Yeah.
And you don't come back. And then you come back and everybody's just like, hey, man, we missed you after you took that giant L. And you're like, yeah, that sucked, but I'm back now. And it's like, that's all you had to do.
Who's the philosopher, chat, that like went into the woods?
Oh, shit.
I wrote a spoken word about him one time because I used to write a lot of poetry in college and I was obsessed with this guy.
God, we were such dorks.
I know.
Thoreau.
Henry David Thoreau. Thank you, Barrett. Henry David Thoreau. That's what Drake needs to do.
Yeah.
Just
He needs
took a walk.
to go in the woods and find yourself for a while. Why did I? Why?
Dude, I wanna
why
do
would
that.
I? Why was I obsessed with Henry David Thoreau
Because he was fucking cool as shit.
at the age of 20?
Because he went into the fucking woods and found himself. I think about doing that every day.
shout out my guy Henry David Thoreau. Unless he was racist, he probably could have been. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Anytime I say shout out to anybody from the olden days, they always got to be racist.
You really got to think twice about that one.
They always got to be every single time. Let's see here. What else we got going on in Super Chats? DJ Kento says Studio Mir, who started with Legend of Korra and Boondocks, does X-Men 97. That's a crazy catalog. My Adventures with Superman and Devil May Cry now should do Cyberpunk.
Okay.
Imagine working on an Avatar cartoon, Boondocks, and X-Men 97.
I didn't realize they did Boondocks.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts. Piano says, hey, Mike, just shout out to how knowledgeable and insightful you sounded when you pointed out CD Projekt could learn from Phantom Liberty. I don't know if that's sad. I don't know if they're being serious or if they're being sarcastic.
They're teasing me like usual, and I appreciate that. I mean, I did say, yeah, they can learn from what they've done with that.
I mean, but I also think that that's like that should be a thing that we should point out, right? Like, yeah, they could learn from Phantom Liberty. And also, they give us $5 to say that. So.
I want you to know you can always dunk on me anytime, okay? Anytime. If you need to just get it out, if you're having a bad day, if you're ever having a bad day in life, you come over, you dunk on Mike.
But here's the thing:
it's just fine with
anybody who's on a video game podcast that's talking about the next game from CD Projekt Red, the first thing you should say is, hope they learn from Phantom Liberty, or hope they learn from Cyberpunk 2077.
Mike, don't offer yourself up like that.
I was like, get it out. I want you to get it out. Sometimes
that's a wild thing.
You
though.
get it out, and then you go. You know what? I feel better now.
Yeah,
sometimes you just gotta let it out.
Sometimes people have a bad day, right?
It's the end of November. Just let it out.
Yeah, I don't like that though.
I don't like that. All
thank you for the $5.
Get it out. I'm fine with that. Keep giving us money though. Keep the lights and mics on, please.
And here's this is what I will say.
Yeah.
If everybody watching right now did give us $5 to dunk on Mike, Mike would probably get a raise at this company. You would make us a lot of money, and we would go, damn, we got to keep Mike on.
Go crazy.
We got to pay back more money because he's getting us more money. And so, sure, pay us the $5.
Uh-huh. I'm gonna go buy us all a Thanksgiving meal right now.
Oh yeah, that is happening.
I'm hoping to go to Raising Cane's and buy the tailgate meal. 55 chicken tenders.
Dude, I really
20 slices of bread. I'm going
that.
big, y'all. Get ready.
I need that. DJ Kento says, I bet money that in China you're about to see MIG Switch piracy cards get copied, reproduced, and sold like crazy. Oh man, that's everywhere though. When I lived in Nigeria, dude, the amount of like things I would see where I'm like, oh man, I'm watching Spider-Man 3. This movie's not out yet.
Yeah.
This movie's not out in theaters. I miss it, man. Yeah, Charlie Nugget says, on the question of studios to work on the new Cyberpunk animation, I'd love to see Madhouse or David Production.
Oh.
I don't know who David is, but
okay,
it'd be cool. I guess it'd be cool if he worked on the Cyberpunk.
Shout out to David.
Shout out my guy David.
Dude.
Do you think it's Henry David Thoreau?
one man.
Yo,
He's working on anime now.
He went into the woods, found himself, and he was like, anime.
I'm good.
Yeah.
Now.
Shout out my guy David. Unless you know what you did.
Yes.
That's it for Super Chats. Let's get into kindoffunny.com/you're wrong, where you write in and let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Fusion says, if we can believe the timeline, CDPR says it's aiming to deliver the trilogy within a 6-year period following the Polaris release, which should make for a more cohesive package of games. Polaris is the codename for the first game. So you're telling me that you're going to release each game in a 3-year interval?
It's exciting.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. They could do the Final Fantasy route, right? Like where like a lot of Rebirth was, making the bones of what the third part will be. So who knows?
This is what I'll say, is that what I would like, that I don't know if you can get away with like where AAA games are at nowadays and fan expectations. I would like for them to go the Yakuza route, right? The Like a Dragon route, where it is, hey, we spent the whole first game making a crafted open world.
Okay.
Now in Witcher 5 and 6, we're going back to that same open world, but like
snap.
Time has passed and like we're revisiting the same things, but like stuff has happened and we've brought it forward. So it does feel like one cohesive package.
Ooh.
That way you can save on resources. You're making the right
I'm
face,
giving
Mike.
you the face like, I don't know.
Fans, I think
I don't know about that.
I don't know if they would receive it, but like,
Okay.
that would be the way to make it happen.
Yeah, that's an interesting thought right there.
That would be how you do it.
Okay, I like that.
Like Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, that took like fucking 8 years or whatever. But like, that's what Tears of the Kingdom did,
Well,
right?
they were also figuring out a lot of complicated physics stuff to run on a fucking Switch.
That's true. That is very true.
like a 9-year-old phone.
if you want to be able to put out a trilogy in 6 years, I think that's how you do it.
Yeah,
And
smart Bless.
I would be down for it. I like the idea of like going back to the same locations and it being oh man, all right, like the story has progressed here. What's going on? Like it's like coming back home almost.
Good. But you got to go somewhere first to come back home.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like we got to go somewhere first,
Mike,
and then you come back home.
That's a really good point. I can't argue with that. You're right.
Thank you.
If anything, you just stayed home.
Exactly.
You just stayed home.
You got to go somewhere.
I can't argue against that. That's like, damn, that just fucked me up. Let's see. Bandersen says, bless his friend that stole his Blue Eyes card was named Kaiba. That's not that you're wrong, but I liked it.
Yeah.
But none of that.
But
We're not. We save that for
That's
super
crazy,
chats.
man. Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people are saying that Henry David Thoreau is actually cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was worried it was going to go the other way on
thank
that
God.
one.
Yeah.
I was getting ready for you to say that one.
And then one more from Robbie Rob. David Production is JoJo Bizarre Adventure. Damn.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe he made Henry David Thoreau made JoJo's the
shout
cool
out to
guy.
Joe.
Oh my God, I can't talk. I'm just so fucking blown away by that fact.
Cool
That's
guy.
crazy.
Yeah. Henry David.
Anime saved him.
Mike, that brings us to the end. Kind of Funny Games Daily.
Great job, Bless.
All right, we got a GAMESCAST after this. That's going to be their metaphor spoiler cast.
I hear it's really good.
And then after that is going to be our Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
But of course, this has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy GamesCast next and the stream after, but until next time, Game Daily.